Hello and welcome back to the Whoniverse Show. I'm Crystal.
I'm Tyrell, and we have a spooky special for you this month. We are talking all things monsters and creatures with seasoned creature performer Jon Davey.
We delve into the mind of concept artist and illustrator Peter McKinstry.
Prop of the month plot twist, Crystal has picked out this month's prop to try and extend her lead.
Plus, we're going to be shining a spotlight on some very spooky episodes for you to watch this Halloween with the help of writer Rob Shearman.
If we're talking all things monsters and creatures, it only feels right that we have an expert on the matter, and we are joined by not one, but two of them. He's
been in 50 episodes of Doctor Who. He's been a Cyberman, an Ood, a Jadoon, a Dalek, a Hath, a Winder, a Zygon, a Whisperman, a Sea Devil, and more. And now he's a guest on the Whoniverse Show. It's Jon Davey. So as we said in your intro, 50 episodes of Doctor Who, so many creatures. What's been the best to play?
There's best from reaction from people, which is normally Daleks. As soon as you're in a Dalek and you start moving it around, people's faces just light up and it's the best thing ever. Daleks are pretty cool because there's a seat. Many of the creatures we couldn't actually sit down all day. Right. So when we first got to play the Daleks in Victory of the Daleks, we were like, oh my goodness, we're going to be sat down all day. This is fantastic. I think my favourite character that I did was the headless Cyberman in the Pandorica Opens. So there was a scene where the Cyberman's fighting with Amy Pond. They actually shot that first and they used an actor that actually had one arm, but they needed the reveal of the Cyberman walking around the corner and picking up the head. And they basically got me with a green bag over my head and a green sock over my arm. And then I kind of walked around, picked the head up and then popped it on. So yeah, it always makes me laugh when I see it. I'm like, that is me. And they've taken my head and my arm off.
And then what's the most physically demanding creature that you've had to play? Like, what's the toughest one?
They all have their challenges. So the original Cybermen in Series 2, they probably weighed upwards 25 kilos, maybe more. And they were made of fiberglass at the time, which was very rigid. So that was physically quite tough. The Whispermen that we did was a prosthetic and then a stocking that was pulled over our face, cut around the mouth and glued to our lips. So you couldn't really see anything. You couldn't really eat anything messy, because obviously if you got a bit of ketchup on the stocking, it would have ruined it. And also as well, you spent 12 hours with your nose kind of being done like that. However, breathing was fine. You had to breathe through your mouth, which isn't great because you couldn't really breathe through your nose.
So speaking of Whispermen, I know you've brought something with you today.
Oh yes. So I was very kindly given this from the Name of the Doctor episode, and these are my Whispermen teeth. So these are a real cool pair of teeth that were made by a chap called Chris Lyons, who has got a company called Fangs FX. They moulded our teeth and then created these for us, and hopefully my teeth haven't changed that much in the last 10 years. They just clip in.
Oh gosh.
That is excellent.
Look at that. Look at that.
They're really realistic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have problems talking in them now, unfortunately.
You can't quite have a sandwich for that.
No.
I think it really looks good with the hat, the pea cap. It's a good look. I think.
This is a new creature for the show, I think.
So, when it comes to performing a creature, what's the first step in taking a monster or creature who doesn't speak and turning that into something that, well, I guess moves and giving it life?
So obviously the script's written, and then the people that design the costumes and also the choreographer will look at the script and then try and figure out what you can get out this costume and out of the people that are being in them. And it's quite difficult for a costume and a creature to emote expressions because you can't see our face. So there was kind of subtle little movements that you could express, you know, how you were feeling. For example, the Vigil from the Rings of Akaton, we kind of had this like creepy kind of head movement, like we were kind of analysing the situation. And there was 3 of us, and we all kind of did it in unison. And we don't know what's going on. We're inside a mask, and we're, dealing with kind of vision and breath issues. But the people on set said, "Oh my goodness, that is so scary."
So the creatures in Doctor Who, they move in very distinct ways. Cyberman has to move very differently to the other creatures that you might perform. Are you kind of choreographing that yourself? Are you choosing the distinct ways in which you move, or are you being usually directed by someone?
So normally the choreographer will have an idea, but then when they get us together and then we start rehearsing, they will normally just start tweaking things, because you can have an idea, but then if you see 3 or 4 people doing it, you might go, doesn't quite work, and then it's just little tweaks. Most recently, Paul Casey has become the choreographer for Doctor Who. I think we did 2 full days of Sea Devil choreography, which was really, really good fun. Paul's an amazing movement artist, and he worked us hard. So he would get us doing the movement, he'd get us doing it at 30%, doing it at 100%, dialing it down to 70, and then kept tweaking, because he could see what we were doing and what worked well. Then when we got the costumes on, again, there was that little bit of refining going on. And then sometimes you might have an idea, and then when you get the costume on, you can't physically move in the way that you expected.
You've got to sort of adjust it when you're in it a bit.
Yeah.
So since this is a Halloween-themed episode, which monster would you most like to wear to a party?
Ooh, well, it depends how lazy I'm feeling. If I was feeling very lazy that day, I just wouldn't go to the party, but then tell everyone that I came as a silence. They couldn't argue with that.
That's clever. That is clever.
Is there a moment in Doctor Who that you watched growing up that you found particularly horrifying?
There was the Hand of Fear, and I was probably quite young at the time, and I did have nightmares about this hand creeping around, coming to get me.
Okay, so now I hear we're gonna have a little workshop on how to be a Cyberman, so I guess it's time to get upgraded.
So Tyrell, it's the moment you've been waiting your whole life for. You've been upgraded to a Cyberman. How does it feel?
Yep.
So, before you can convince anyone, you're going to need to know how to move like one. And thankfully, we have the best in the business to show you. John, take it away.
Thank you. So, Tyrell.
Yes.
It's all about counting.
Okay.
And basically, all your moves are done on a count.
All right.
So, traditionally, when Elsa, the choreographer, came up with these ideas, we've taken it on. And before we start walking, I'll say left, right.
Left, right, okay.
And that's for nothing.
All right.
And then the count starts. So it'll be left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're still. And then 7, 8, we turn.
Yep.
9, 10, we're still. And then 11, 12, touch the chest, and then put the hand on the hip and put your hand out in front.
Gotcha.
Almost sounds
11,
too
12.
easy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, walk in the park.
So you ready for a practice on the spot?
All right, let's do this.
Okay, and for nothing. Left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
Try not to move at all.
Okay.
And also the arms are like this, but when we're walking, the arms don't move. The arms are always fixed in place.
All right,
So
yeah.
as we're moving,
It's just those legs.
yeah, it's all about the legs.
And it's more like a stomp, right?
Yes, and the knee comes up high.
Yeah. Context for those watching. The suit is heavy. I'm not just putting on faces. Every movement is a workout.
Should we put our helmets on and give it a try?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think it's fair to say, Tyrell, you make a great Cyberman! Ah!
We good to go?
Let's do it.
and left, right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I'm keeping the suit for Halloween.
Well done.
Thank
Honorary
you so much,
Cyberman.
Jon Davey, for putting me through our paces in this Cyberman suit. Now, on with the rest of the show, probably. We are so excited to have Peter McKinstry with us, whose concept art and illustrations help shape the world and creatures of Doctor Who that we know and love. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to talk to you both.
You've worked across so many worlds and creatures. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started as a concept artist?
Well, I worked on Doctor Who from 2005 to 2010. I was one of the concept artists in production designer Edward Thomas's art department. So I got to design and illustrate all sorts of things across those episodes, from spaceships to props of all shapes and sizes, and vehicles and gadgetry, all sorts of things, and a few monsters as well. One of the earliest, most memorable ones would have been the telescope from Tooth and Claw. To see that go from the design on the page or on my screen, and then see it, the prop built for real on the set, and stand next to it with it towering over me, was mind-blowing. And then one of the last things that I did was the Pandorica. So I got to bookend my time on the show with these two really nice large-scale props. But I also enjoyed designing the smaller stuff as well. The small hand props were really important because the camera often goes right in on those. Things like the Master's laser screwdriver or the Doctor's fob watch. Designing monsters and coming up with sketches for monsters was probably one of the most exciting parts of the work. I can remember we'd be getting new scripts hot off the printer, and everybody would be speed reading them. Like, oh, have you got to page 30 yet? There's a new monster that needs to be designed. Who's going to be able to do that? Like, for example, when the Cybermen came back, that was such a massive deal, and everybody wanted to have a go, quite rightly, because it's a Cybermen. But I should say that all the practical monsters and aliens that you see on screen were done brilliantly by Neil Gorton's Millennium Effects. Like, for example, I think the Ood are one of the best designed creatures in all of Doctor Who. But occasionally there'd be an opportunity for the concept artists in the art department to have a go at the monsters. Things like the Carrionites. So taking what I could from the script, I found myself sort of veering towards bird skulls, which are always a bit eerie and a bit creepy, and also images of freshly hatched birds. And then what I did was combine the two so that the skull becomes like an exoskeleton around the fleshy bits protecting the Carrionite inside. And then to bring in the sort of the story's witchcrafty themes, I started just playing with the shapes. So elongating the chin of the Carrionite, which you can see in the episode, and playing with the nose, just turning that into a more witchy kind of hook nose. I think it's important that monsters be unique as possible. Like, there's nothing that quite looks like a Dalek or a Cyberman. And for a show like Doctor Who, if a new one appears with a shape that's all its own, it has more chance of making more impact. I'm thinking like the Fisher King, which is very unique. Sometimes the less you see, the scarier it gets. Like the Midnight entity from Midnight, which you never see at all.
So your new book, The Art of Time Travel, is packed full of other anecdotes and designs. How did the book come about?
Well as working on the TV show itself, I was fortunate enough to be commissioned to create illustrations for various Doctor Who projects, books and magazines. And looking back at some of the cutaways that I'd done previously for the DVD Files magazine, that the penny dropped with me that there's now enough material and enough images that I've made for Doctor Who that you could put them all in one big book. And also, I remembered thinking way back when that all the emails that Russell and I exchanged would make a really interesting behind-the-scenes look at the show from a new angle that hasn't been seen before, I don't think.
In honour of spooky season, we are going to be shining a spotlight on not 1, not 2, but 5 episodes this month. We're going to pick a list of 5 spooky recommendations, but to be clear, where's my camera? We're not choosing Blink. It's not here. It's been talked about too much. Blink is not here. Comment section. Sorry.
Thankfully, we've had some extra help this month. We have writer Robert Shearman, who wrote the 2005 episode Dalek and made the Daleks terrifying for a whole new generation. Thanks for helping us out.
No, not at all.
So, first question,
Yeah.
which episode of Doctor Who had you hiding behind the sofa?
Well, it was an odd thing for me because when I was a kid, every single thing that scared me on TV I assumed was Doctor Who. So, any sort of public information announcement, I thought that was Doctor Who. I was so scared of the idea of it that just seeing, it was the Tom Baker time, that time tunnel with the music, and Tom Baker's terrifying face coming out of the screen at me made me used to run from the room. So I didn't actually get into Doctor Who until I was maybe about 10 or 11, and I dared to buy myself a Target novelisation. And I chose one of the Tom Baker that I thought would be the least scary because it was thin and it had a fairly unscary cover. And that was Image of the Fendal, which is an extremely scary Doctor Who story. And yet somehow I sort of survived the 100 or so pages of that. And I came back for more. So I suppose it all began with Image of the Fendal for me.
Well, we've actually picked out 5 episodes to go through. Should we kick it off?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So firstly, we have Listen. It's a very beautiful episode, but it's also quite weird, it's kind of timey-wimey, it's quite freaky, and there is one bit in it that I find really scary, which is where, spoilers, the thing is there with the sheet, and the sheet drops, and it's blurred out, but you can just see like a face. It's pretty scary. What did you guys think of Listen?
It's one of my very favourite episodes, in part because I think when we watch Doctor Who stories or any sort of monster stories, it's always scary before they actually reveal the monster.
Yeah.
This is the one episode where we never actually reveal it at all, and there's always a doubt that even there may not even be one. So it's Stephen, I think, tapping into the idea of discussing fear and why we're frightened in the first place and what draws us to that. So I spent the entire hour of that in a state of tension waiting for the release, where you'd see something and say, yeah, that's just prosthetics. It's always about that idea of, is there anything even really there? And the ambiguity of that is, I think, what's so scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so next episode we're going to talk about night terrors. I mean, there's lots of different ways to sum up this episode, but I think the simplest way is scary dolls. Scary dolls, tapping into another sort of childhood fear, I think, of dolls. Some dolls are even here in the room with us from various episodes, coming to get you, or in this case, becoming them. Super creepy.
It's the transformation scenes for me,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
You know, like when Amy and Rory go into the doll's house,
Yes.
and the peg dolls are there, and then Amy gets touched by one, and then she starts turning into one, and her hand starts turning into wood. That, for me, is up there with the gas mask transformation scene in The Empty Child. It's not quite as scary, but it is up there in terms of scary transformations.
I agree.
And it's those faces. And it's the way that if you go around any old museum and you see old Victorian toys and you think, no one would want that in their house. Those faces look like the most horrific things ever. And what I think they tap into there are these grotesque dolls. There's nothing remotely calming or kindly about them. They're really alien and sinister. And if I even see a photograph of those dolls, I get a strange shiver.
And I also think because they're huge as well in this episode, you know, obviously a doll generally is quite scary, as you say, but then in this episode they're massive, like they're taller than you.
It's like a child's view of what a scary doll looks like, you know. I mean, like a doll probably looks regular, but if a child finds it scary, in their mind, it's like the most creepy thing ever, right?
I think that's what's so great about childhood fears is that in your head you turn everything into a bit more grotesque.
That's right.
So you're getting a sort of childlike vision of something which to any parent coming in would perhaps seem perfectly nice and reassuring, and yet, you know, it's like those shadows in the bedroom, isn't it? It's like every single thing that when we were kids we found terrifying, and our parents couldn't quite see what the problem was.
That's it.
Let's move on to some classic Who now. Brain of Morbius. Brain of Morbius.
Yep.
A very interesting episode, I would say, and it just gets a bit weird in places. I think, you know, and there's one point where they do cobble together a body for him, and it's like the body of a creature, an arm of a human, and like a jar with the brain in it, and it's very weird. It's quite scary.
Yeah, it's very Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I mean, what I love about it, watching it back now, is just how dry Philip Maddock is, who's playing Solon, because all the horror, all this weird Frankenstein-like thing, he treats as perfectly normal, and he underplays everything, which makes it very, very funny, but also really strange and weird, because it isn't going for the big melodrama.
All right, well, moving on to our fourth choice. This is actually my favourite episode of Doctor Who, and I think that is one of the scariest as well, which is Midnight. Yeah. This, again, touches on the fear of the unknown.
And crucially, an invisible enemy, and I think that's what makes this episode so creative. It's the fact that you never see the monster, and the real enemy, or the real monster, actually ends up being the humans on the bus. And the way that they, it's very Lord of the Flies, it's very, put people in a cage, and that survival instinct comes out, and you see how people turn on each other, and it's really horrible.
And we see also how the Doctor's own arrogance, that awful moment where he suddenly says, because I'm cleverer than you, that's what destroys him. It's the fact that normally the Doctor walks into any situation, particularly David Tennant, and he's this supremely confident Doctor, and that's what brings him down. He has all of his words taken away from him. I mean, it's a really, really incredible episode. I think it's actually a work of art, Midnight.
I agree.
It's one of those things where you just see Doctor Who exists as a sort of minor thing around how amazing Midnight is. I think it's an absolutely extraordinary piece of television.
I think it's scary seeing the Doctor losing. I think that's always, the Doctor's supposed to be the person we feel safe with, and I think when you see the Doctor losing the battle or the Doctor out of control, I think that's really unsettling.
And it's solved by someone whose name no one even bothered to ask.
Remember, it's
extraordinary, and again, and that's Russell's humanism there as well. It's beautiful. It's virtually perfect, Midnight.
I agree.
Should we go on to our final one?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm really excited to talk about this, because this was actually my first ever episode of Doctor Who, The Empty Child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Empty Child is first episode.
Yeah.
That's a scary start.
And I was just very innocently trying to find something to watch on telly, as you do, and stumbled upon it maybe like 20 minutes into the episode, and saw the gas masks and the scene where Mr. Constantine in the hospital changes and his face becomes a gas mask. And I think it's that thing you were talking about earlier where you're daring yourself to watch it. I was actually too scared to look at it. I felt like scared stiff, but I felt like I was compelled to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I was so jealous of it. Because, of course, because I worked on that season, my episode was 3 weeks before it.
Right.
And when I saw, I should say, I first saw Empty Child the night Dalek went out. We had a party at my house, and Stephen came over, and he had with him a disc of The Empty Child, and he said, shall I put this on? And we said, yeah, stick it on. And he was at the time saying, I'm not sure it's very good, I'm not sure we're going to like it. And we all watched it, and we all collectively sort of felt our jaws drop, because it was so astonishing. I felt suddenly saying, oh, this is what Doctor Who can be. I mean, I didn't know that we could have been that horrific. And that night, I remember, with some irritation, my wife, as everyone left the house, said to me, Doctor Who was amazing tonight. And I said, oh, thank you. So I don't mean your one. I mean the one with the gas mask child.
Well, thank you so much, Robert, for coming on the show and helping us pick out some terrifying episodes.
Attention, delivery interruption. Robert Shearman's Jubilee and The Chimes of Midnight now available as novelisation. Studio discussion imminent.
Sorry about him. He does that. Very rude. We're going to have a word. But it is exciting news. We've got 2 classic audio dramas that are now being turned into novelizations. That's huge.
We've actually got one of them here in the studio as well.
Really?
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, my word. Oh.
A copy of Jubilee.
Hello, old thing. I haven't seen you yet.
Can you tell us a bit about Jubilee and The Chimes of Midnight?
Yeah, well, Jubilee, simple pitch. It's the Doctor arriving in an England that is totally obsessed by Daleks. Because 100 years ago, there was a Dalek invasion which he foiled, and England has now turned into the England Empire. It's used all the bad things it learned from it, become this sort of big fascist regime. And they're obsessed by Daleks, and tomorrow they're going to take the last surviving Dalek from the invasion and blow it up on television. I mean, Jubilee became the basis for Dalek on TV, so that gave it a certain notoriety. It's nothing really like Dalek at all, but there's that single Dalek image that Russell took to when he listened to the audio himself, which is why he commissioned me to do the TV show. So people, I think fans know that Jubilee therefore has a certain history. So that's that story, which is quite fun, with jokes. And then Chimes of Midnight is a strange, haunted house Edwardian murder mystery thing where it's like Downton Abbey with all the servants being killed on the hour as you chime up towards Christmas Day with jokes. So yes, so that's quite fun too.
I'm sensing the jokes are important.
Jokes are the only thing I really care about. I mean, I build the pot around the jokes always, but yes. But I think they're both quite funny. Yeah, I mean, they're both written as comedies in my own strange, dark way. So I'm hoping people...
Because the pitch before you say with jokes is quite scary.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Doctor Who is that, you know, that everything you start with always feels quite absurdist. So as you come up with the idea, and 25 years ago when I first wrote these audios, I was chuckling away to myself thinking, well, that will make them laugh. Yeah. And then you find out later on that it scared them.
Thank you, Rob, so much for coming on. It's been really great having you and talking all about your experience of Doctor Who. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, don't forget to check out Chimes of Midnight and Jubilee wherever you get your books. Okay, moving on. Now it's time for...
Incoming transmission. New name detected. Downloading. My new correspondence is... Kirby. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay, well, no, I guess it's time for the news.
So, what have you got for us this month?
Exclusive delivery override. Titan Comics confirms new package. Prison Paradox. News dispatch commencing.
Ah, that's right. Titan Comics are bringing us Doctor Who, The Prison Paradox. Written by Dan Waters, the Doctor, Belinda, and a team of unlikely allies team up to infiltrate a cosmic prison full of monsters and villains. Issue 1 lands in November, and here to tell us more is Dan and editor Jonathan Wilkins.
So, in a nutshell, what is The Prison Paradox all about?
Doctor Who, The Prison Paradox is a story in which Belinda has been arrested and taken to a prison space station that orbits a black hole, and the Doctor has to recruit a team of vicious ne'er-do-wells in order to approach this prison and rescue her.
Dan, what's it like to write for the 15th Doctor, and what differences do you feel like it has to other incarnations?
I mean, it's a blast writing any incarnation of the Doctor. I think it's something that's been developing since 13, and the more the Doctor has sort of surrounded themselves with people, lacks a cruelty which I think earlier Doctors could definitely indulge themselves in from time to time.
So what can Doctor Who do in the comic space that it can't do in other mediums?
So the advantages of the comic strip format is that you've got sort of an unlimited budget, really. You can have aliens, all sorts of aliens that would cost an absolute fortune to produce for television. The only limit is Dan's imagination, which is considerable. So thank goodness we're not doing this for television.
So Annie the Adipose is already a massive hit. What else can you tell us about them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the adipose are a really interesting species. The process by which they reproduce means mass murder. So taking this sort of little ball of fury that looks like a Pokemon but is, 1 foot tall and like sort of the cutest thing you'll ever encounter, that's just a good character.
Jonathan, I know you can't say too much, but can you give us any teasers about the main villain, the Warden?
Absolutely not. No, you've got to read the comic. No, he's a very strange character. He's got an unusual history. He's got a very distinctive look. The Warden is watching you all the time. You could be stood behind the Warden will know you're there. You could be behind a wall, he'll know where you are. He's a very sinister, scary character. But he has a very interesting relationship with Belinda, which we find out more about as we go on through the story.
Thank you so much, Dan and Jonathan, for chatting with us. That was super exciting, and we can't wait to read this comic. Oh, thank you, Kerblam, man. There you go. Doctor Who, The Prison Paradox drops early November. Get it wherever you get your comic books.
And breaking news this week. A delivery from the Doctor themselves. Doctor Who will return to screens at Christmas 2026, with a special episode written by Russell T Davies. With upcoming spin-off The War Between the Land and the Sea heading to BBC iPlayer and BBC One later this year. Join us next month on The Whoniverse Show, as we'll be joined by writer and exec producer Peter McKinstry to talk all things The War Between.
We're changing things up this month to give Tyrell a chance to level the score. This month, I've personally picked an on-theme prop for you to try and guess. Now, it's not an easy shape. Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay, you said it's on theme. All right, so that I'm limiting my mind now to like the scarier episodes because we're in Halloween season.
I really want to give you a clue.
I will accept a clue because I'm going nowhere right now.
So it's fairly recent.
Okay, fairly recent.
Fairly recent, not that recent, but fairly recent.
So I'm going 15, 14, 13.
Yeah.
That's recent enough.
You're in the right.
I'm in the right area?
Yeah.
Okay, the scariest 14 went was like Wild Blue Yonder. I don't think there was too many props around that. No, I'm not gonna go Wild Blue Yonder, so I'm gonna rule out 14 entirely, I think. No, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
But there's other doctors available.
There are other doctors available. All right, okay, let me run you through my logic right now. 14th Doctor, 60th anniversary, had 3 specials. First special, Star Beast. I'm thinking the main props of that are literally either like the giant ship, which half of that had to have been some sort of CGI, so that's ruled out. All of the sock puppets I feel like are floating around here in our set somewhere, so I'm gonna put that aside. Wild Blue Yonder felt everything was sort of self-contained in that one sort of location, not too many props there. The Giggle did have scary moments. One moment in particular comes to mind, and I'm thinking it's the puppets. Which puppet I don't know, but it's the puppets, either the little babies that chase down Donna, or the main one at the start that does the original Giggle.
Final guess?
Okay, final guess. I'm gonna say it's the puppet, the original Giggle puppet that like lights on fire at the end.
Okay, should we take a look?
Let's do it. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, there he is.
You got it.
Gosh, good. All right, you know
I feel
what?
like I gave you too many clues.
You did.
I narrowed it down too much. But when you got onto the puppets, if you turn to the back of the set, you can see the Stooky babies.
Oh, they're literally here.
So that would have narrowed it down quite a lot. So here we have the puppet that appears at the beginning.
Yes.
And as you quite rightly said, lights on fire.
Oh, I love it. Does his mouth actually like gape open?
I don't know.
It does. Oh. Oh, it's like a. Ooh. Ah, it's so creepy.
So he's called Stooky Bill,
Yes.
and in real life, John Logie Baird bought him at Selfridges. So he was
Really?
actually a thing that you could buy
Really?
back in the day. Stooky is a Scottish word that comes from stucco,
Okay.
which essentially is plaster, but it's
Right.
come to mean stupid and slow.
Ah, okay. Stupid Bill.
I feel like that's kind of mean.
It is mean. Bless him.
And I feel like it's mean, and also he set a light. It's just he has such a sad story.
Yeah, when you think about it, the poor guy, he wasn't even the villain of the episode. He was genuinely
He's a
just a
victim.
puppet. He's a victim. That was just put on TV. Ah, I'm liking his outfit. I feel like it's very 11th Doctor.
Yeah.
Now that I take a close look at it, you know, it's the bow tie, it's the tweed. You know, I feel like 11 would approve of this
I
fit.
like his shoes.
I do as well.
Very dapper.
Yeah.
Would you like to hold the baby?
No. I feel like you're going to give me him anyway.
I feel like, okay, it's time. Okay.
Oh, it's so much creepier that way. Oh, no. Oh.
It looks like a ventriloquist
Yeah, I'm
dummy,
saying,
doesn't
it feels like a ventriloquist dummy.
You're the dummy. Don't forget to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
I don't know why I gave Stooky Bill this voice. He doesn't speak, he just laughs.
It works. I think it works.
So, we have scoured the Subwave network to find the creme de la creme of Whoniverse content, and you guys have not disappointed. Let's take a look at what we got.
So, this cosplay
This is sick.
is absolutely incredible. It's the 13th Doctor as a weeping angel, as seen in the episode Village of the Angels. I've recently done a Jodie Whittaker rewatch and rewatched Flux, and this cosplay is just so spot on. I wonder how they've done that as well. Chucks it all in a washing machine, a bit of dye.
Just
I
put
don't
some
know.
grey dye inside it.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive.
All right, let's see what the next one is. Yes, okay, so this is what I'm personally going to call the cyber gentleman. Because it's like a steampunk gentleman. He's got the tall hat and everything on one side. He's got the Cyberman on the other half. I love it. It's kind of giving like a sort of ebony and ivory, just Cyberman and steampunk.
That is so cool.
If you will. Could you imagine seeing it in a Doctor Who episode?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, this Davros, I've personally met at conventions before.
Yeah.
This Davros is always in character, which is one of the most entertaining things about it.
Really?
But also, look at the design. It's completely stained glass.
It's genius. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
It's so cool. And when you get up close to it, you can see all the detail as well.
Oh, I'm like just taking in the detail now. It literally looks like the side of like a church of Doctor Who.
Yeah, or like a pinball
like
machine
a pinball
or something.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to call it Disco Davros. I don't know if people know it as Disco Davros, but I feel like it needs to be Disco Davros.
Well, you're saying it right here and now on the Whoniverse Show. So
There you go.
I'm afraid it is now Disco Davros.
I'm a big fan, honestly.
This is great.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for this month. I don't know about you, Tyrell, but I'm feeling pretty spooked out.
I certainly am, but I do feel very prepared for Halloween. I'm going to be cyber walking everywhere.
And I'm going to be having nightmares about gas masks again.
Thanks to everyone we've had on the show this month, and don't forget, we want to hear what or who you'd like to see on the show next, so let us know in the comments.
And as always, if you want to find out more about any of the cool stuff we've mentioned in this episode, head to doctor.tv.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.